What is the big difference when you're talking about shaking and stirring? Because there is some type of chemical difference that takes place, right?
Definitely. It's just a matter of introducing oxygen. Basically, if we have a drink that's all boozed, say a Negroni or a Manhattan, for instance, we want to keep the kind of silky smooth texture of the spirits that are going on. So in that case, we want to stir the drink and keep it nice and calm and smooth and just let those flavors sort of layer on one another. Whereas if we have citrus and sugar and cream, for instance, we definitely want to shake a drink so we can make a more uniform kind of aerated texture, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Margarita is a classic shake, right? It's got citrus, it's got lime.
Yeah, you guys really make, I don't know, cocktailing is an art and a science, and it really is very intimidating. You guys make it fun, and I love your little info boxes, you know, to keep it classy and legitimate. I did not know that vermouth has the shelf life of wine. I would leave it on that shelf for months if it were up to me. I thought it was like hard alcohol.
And Marisa, I find that even training bartenders all over the world, that people don't think about that because it's just an everyday thing that's on your back bar. But if you think about it, yes, it's been fortified, and it's a little stronger than average wine, but it will go bad on you, especially if it's sitting on a hot bar under a light or something. It's going to taste like garbage. And then I have sort of a theory that's why people don't like martinis anymore, and the martini has gotten much drier over time. Because people are tasting bad vermouth constantly in their martinis. Maybe
part of the confusion is that it doesn't go as bad as wine. Marshall, correct me if I'm wrong, but they both, like wine, it'll lose its best qualities really quickly within a few weeks. But wine would become like absolutely putrid. Vermouth would just sort of lose anything redeeming about it. It kind of gets a little bit of a skunk to it, but it's not because it's slightly fortified. Is that right, Mark? And so basically, it doesn't just keep getting worse and worse. It just gets If
you let it sit out in the heat too long, it's going to eventually smell like garbage a little bit. And nobody likes that.
Yeah.
We got Jordan and Marshall on the line from How to Booze, Exquisite Cocktails and Unsound Advice, the right drink for every situation.
I noticed a few drinks are noticeably absent from the book. For example, the Jaeger bomb. Is there ever a time for these drinks, or should their consumption just end at your 21st birthday and frat parties, like over, that phase in your life is done?
No.
Listen, again, as much as I spend time training bartenders and preach the gospel when it comes to stirring drinks and all of that, I still like a good Jaeger bomb when the occasion's right.
Yeah, I worry about these young kids, though, because I'll say that I think of Jaeger as like, maybe I think of it as like owned by the 80s and 90s to an extent. I worry that these young kids aren't really growing up with the Jaeger, and I hope they are. I just hope they are.
We live in a college town. I would say the Jaeger is alive and well here, right?
I mean, I'm not a Jaeger person, but I prefer whiskey, so that's just an entirely different.
I agree, but people are mixing the Jaeger now with Red Bull.
It's so funny with Jaeger. There's like a certain part of the night that it switches to like Jaeger time.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Gosh.
It's like the night is just like turned like that vermouth. It's
right.
Like,
and then the morning after, when you reflect back on last night, you'll be like, where did things go wrong? Oh, that's right.
The Jaeger.
That's where they went horribly
wrong. You remember the Jaeger. You don't remember the Jaeger first. It's like you have to have your coffee like, oh, Jesus, we did Jaeger.
You're right, yeah.
But I feel like people who like Jaeger, it's like a cult. Like you either love Jaeger or you just don't like Jaeger.
Good point.
I don't know, the bottle's cool. I'll give it that.
A whole different kind of drunk.
Yes.
Now, rather than hit you with a bunch of situations and ask you which drink is appropriate, how about I tell you some drinks that I'm kind of into, and then you tell me what situations are best with them? Then I can, try to be in those situations more.
Love it.
We can try that.
I really like drinking Crown Royal.
On its own?
Wow.
With what?
Yeah.
Crown.
Do you like to just drink it straight?
If it's like Cask 16 or XR or one of those.
Or neat. That's a term, right? Neat.
Oh, drinking. That's right. She's so accomplished right now. Her face is like,
I'm so proud.
I nailed it.
I did.
What's a good one for Crown?
I think when you get syndicated nationally, you'll become well on your way to the king of radio.
There we go.
Crown Royal.
When you get your first syndication in Canada, anyway.
When are you in Canada?
No, but Crown Royal is...
they're for Canadian whiskey, sure. What about moonshine? What's your best time to drink some moonshine?
Oh, wow. Well, I just came from the Bonnaroo Music Festival in Tennessee. That was a good time to be drinking moonshine.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
And then finally, port.
Port. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to say when you're in Porto, awesome city. You ever check that out? Marshall, you ever get over there? Porto in Portugal? That's where it's from Porto?
I have not. Porto's a serious affair. It's something, after dinner, after a business deal or like that.
Right, when you're closing some deals, right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Cool.
Closing some deals. Okay, so everybody has, a type of alcohol that they prefer, and I mentioned that people are culty about Jaeger. I feel that way about Jameson. I'm a whiskey drinker. What do these types of alcohol you think say about people? Like, what does that mean about me as a woman who loves whiskey on the rocks?
It means that you're totally awesome.
Oh, it's points. You get points for that one, Marisa.
Sweet.
It means that just everyone's going to think you're really cool for the rest of life. Fantastic.
I'll take it.
Jameson's great. It's good stuff. What does it say about people? I think that if someone comes out and says their thing to drink is tequila, I think we all know what that says about them. I'm not necessarily referring to the Joe Nichols song, but it's a wild thing. That's like a wild one. Gin is like. I think that gin means you're open to gin is like it's a little bit of a people aren't born liking gin,
right.
and once you're into it, it's fantastic, but it does require a certain open mind and it's a subtle taste too, so it's sort of an openness and a subtleness.
Yeah, it kind of does taste like trees, huh?
As it should.
As it should.
If you're a guy that's only drinking single malt, I'm not sure we got to be careful about you, right? I love single malt, but if you're only drinking single malt all the time, a little professorial, a little like pretentious, right?
Yeah, it's almost like you're like the guy on Law and Order in his office.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
We can be gentlemen, but we don't need to be like stuffy.
Right.
Stiffy.
I meant stuffy.
What about that threesome?
Yeah, exactly right.
So an Irish pub just opened up literally 3 minutes and 5 seconds walking distance from my apartment.
Oh, God.
Dangerous. You suggest an Irish aspirin, 1-shot whiskey followed by 1 shot of orange juice. Well, that's after a day of work, and you suggest not getting cocktails because, let's be honest, it's not their specialty. What other fun, simple drinks can I order at an Irish pub?
I think we got to go back to the Jaeger there, right?
Oh, no.
I noticed and Marshall, maybe you know something about this. What's up with those huge boxes that they have Jaeger now attached to? Like they're inverted, and it's like a glowing box. What goes on in that big box?
It's just to chill the Jaeger off. It's like it's a tap system.
Well, yeah, they want you to drink them at like 34 degrees or something, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it definitely makes me want some. I was watching the soccer game today at like 2 o'clock.
It's effective marketing, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. But I was talking myself down.
For me, the best thing in an Irish pub is something that takes a little craft, but it's a simple beer drink, a good half and half or a black and tan. It takes a good bartender to make one of those properly, and that and a whiskey back. To me, there's nothing better in an Irish pub.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, they have a deal, a Modelo and a shot of Jameson, $8. They have to come as a pair, though. Needless to say, that's how the night ends.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal.
People always ask me as a bartender, what do you drink, when you go out, and they think I'm going to talk about cocktails, and I just want a whiskey and a beer at the end of the night.
Yeah, you're speaking my language. So that goes right into my next question. So you guys obviously are cocktail experts. When is the perfect time to just skip the cocktail and grab an old-fashioned beer?
Most of the time.
Most of the time, every day of your life.
So true.
We love our beer too. No, I think after you've talked about cocktails until you're blue in the face, then that's exactly what you need is some respite with a cold beer.
Are you going to parlay that into the next book?
We'll see. We've got to hold something back.
I think we're going to follow that in the next 10 minutes.
Right.
All right, we're talking to Jordan and Marshall, the authors of How to Booze, Exquisite Cocktails, and Unsound Advice, the right drink for every situation.
Guys, I see those chaser pills. They're kind of like homeopathic type things, and they're sometimes in the energy aisle, sometimes in the pharmacy aisles, and they claim that you take them with your first drink, and you can just not have a hangover. I feel like they've worked for me, but I don't know if I'm just being had. What do you know about these things?
Probably not enough.
Yeah, you haven't heard of these things?
I haven't done it. I'm kind of I'm very like pill allergic myself. I don't know. I don't know. I don't take aspirin. I let my head throb. I'm just suspicious of anything that's a pill.
We've never spoken about that, but I'm the same way. So
is that right?
Bad resource for that. A glass of water is the best hangover cure that I've come up with.
So as far as drinks are concerned, for the hangover, you suggest a Corpse Reviver No. 2. Is this okay? Alcohol when you are hungover, is this an actual cure, or are you really just prolonging the devastation?
Depends on how you define those things.
Nausea, headaches, all that fun stuff.
I think there's definitely something to be said for the hair of the dog. And that drink, the reason it's called a Corpse Reviver is that it was, in fact, intended as a hangover cure back in the 1880s, and it was meant to wake you up. Corpse Reviver, Eye Opener, these were kind of like the Bloody Mary of the time.